What up, peeps? January 13th. Halfway through January already, pretty much. Almost over. Got 2 weeks left. Just bought my license this morning. And this piece is probably a rut piece. These deer, as you could see, are covering their behinds. It's a big bedding piece. It's a corner bedding piece. And it's another little pine thicket area overlooking an open woods. And these deer can smell and hear anything from behind them, smell, hear, or see anything from both sides of them, and see or hear out in front of them. So they're pretty much, it's pretty good bedding area. So they're pretty much covering their butts on all sides of them. So here we go. All right, guys. Here's the example, and this is the piece that we're running through. And basically, there's a ditch running down this way, and it runs all the way out this way. And then there's another disgusting transition, and this whole side over here is just nothing but nasty, thick, disgusting stuff. There's a water hole right here. There's a gentleman hunting that water hole right there, and this transition goes like this.
Walked in from that way and walked down a creek, and then it opens up in here a little bit, and there's a ton of buck sign in here. I mean, just a ton. And it has these little bowls of grass, and then it comes out thick, and then it goes back in like that where they cut and whatever they did with these grass section. And I see a stand right here. There's a stand right there. And damn it, I tell you though, this is good, man, because this guy's got a stand here. And I'm going to tell you right now, all the buck sign is up by the road. So it looks like they're skimming this dude in the stand. Now here's an area guys they'll get confused on. They'll think that bucks are using this area all the time because there's so many rubs in here. Like there's a rub there. There's a rub here. There's rubs all through here. There's rubs all in there. See that one right there? All kinds of little rubs. And what this is telling me, that there's a big trail going down there. There's big rubs down there. There's good old rubs and fresh rubs back in here. Now this is what you got to consider. Why are all these rubs here? And these little spots in here is where you'll get turned around a little bit, because you see all these rubs and you think there's probably bucks all through here and it's buck bedding. Well, it's probably not, because there's no feature for them to bed in here. There's no bowl or point or something like that where they can have an advantage. So this here is most likely, it's along a ditch, and up there is a ditch going this way. So most likely this is doe bedding, and that's why all these bucks are rubbing all through here during the rut. They're coming by here. They're getting on these trails, coming into these pines, going into these pines that way. And there's two big main trails. One's going down that way, one's going down this way, and there's rubs all along them. So that's why, and what's going on here, you got to watch. You know, outside of the rut, this is not a good spot, because you're going to see a lot of does and a lot of probably younger bucks, real young bucks. Now, if you want to come shoot deer and deer hunt, this is a great spot, man. You'll probably get a whack at something in here. You know, you get in one of these trees here right outside the opening off of the ditch. You know, consider your wind. These does are going to filter out here and go out into these oaks out here and feed, and then they're going to filter out to the fields to the east. And this is a great deer hunt spot. It's not a target buck spot. Remember that. Remember that in a way that, like I say, a spot like this is going to be not very good for a target buck area. It's going to be more of a deer hunting area. You want to fill the freezer. You want to see a lot of deer. This is a good spot for that. When you see all these giant rubs and all these little rubs all over the place, and they're all over. There's probably 25 rubs right here. Behind me, in front of me, on the sides of me, and it's along a ditch. What are ditches? Deer love to run ditches, man. They bed right off it, and bucks will bed along a ditch, but usually it's got some kind of feature, an oxbow or a curve or a corner or something like that. So keep that in mind. Here's an area I like. If you see, it's wide open this way to the east or southeast, wide open. You can see, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, you can see a long ways if you're a buck laying in this corner. And then you got a really thick, nasty old cutover that's nothing but briars, and there's so many briars, it's a wall of them, as you can see. You can see it's like a wall of briars. Goes up in here, and then it's just a corner right here, and then it runs back this way like this. This sets up for a good buck bedding. You know, they'll bed on the corner, depending on the wind, either side of the corner. It doesn't really matter. Again, you're not going to find defined beds in there, just because you're a little more upland. You're not in a wet area, so you're not going to find defined beds, like I said. And they're going to go back in there, and they're going to face probably this way or that way, and watch this open woods, knowing that they can smell or hear anything coming from behind them. So that's the difference between that doe bedding over there and a buck bedding area in here. And this is why they bed in here like this. Look at this. They'll bed right inside there, you know what I mean, somewhere in there, and they're looking out that way. Or they can bed, you know, 15, 20 yards inside here like this. You know, there's a big trail going in here, and they're probably going back in here or back in through here somewhere and bedding in through this thick stuff and watching this opening, watching these open woods. Now it's telling me little ancestral rubs in this little tiny, almost you can't see trail coming in this stuff. And these bucks will bed in here. That's a good rub, man. Another rub. You know, they're going to get in here, and that buck might bed right in here or right over there and off of this corner and watch this opening out here and watch this trail coming through. Ain't nothing coming through and getting to these bucks' backs from behind them, because you got the wind coming this way or this way or this way, somehow crossing them or over their backs, and you just can't get to them. So this here would set up something in the way of, you would have to probably, if you're laying here, you'd have to probably come in from this way. If you came in from this way, he's probably going to see you up in there somewhere. You'd have to come in real quiet, a ways away, and come straight in this way to hunt this buck, 80, 100 yards out that way. You couldn't come in this way because he would see you come by. Now you come along this straight transition like this, and it's straight, nasty briars all the way out to the field. This is usually where your doe bedding's going to be, is, in these little pockets in here. And like that little pocket in there is like a little bowl in there where, just a small one. But they'll bed up against this stuff or right inside of that, and real thick, nasty stuff where a buck can't even get into. It's so thick. Where the does can, and they'll go in there and bed and also probably, watch all directions, because usually does bed in a circle. Once you start seeing a straight transition like this going towards that crop field, and you start seeing some more buck sign along this straight transition, that'll tell you too it's probably some doe bedding right there. So keep an eye on for that. Good rut spots, because these bucks will cruise down this transition looking for does that are bedding in that doe bedding.
Basically, guys, there's two areas I'd hunt here. This corner here, where there's a lot of buck bedding, as you've seen on the video, and they're watching out like this. And this little concentrated area of rubs and scrapes and you name it, ruts on. I would hunt this during the rut, and this sometime outside of the rut. That's the only two spots that I would hunt here. I would stay away from this whole area right here, because the deer have a big trail skirting this gentleman in his preset. This is a guy that's hunting here, his stands here, and he's hunting this this water hole. So I would stay away from that altogether. So how would I hunt it? This here, all these concentrated rubs, I'd park here. I'd come in, come in, and depending on the wind, if I had a northerly wind or northwesterly wind, I would hunt the southern side of the ditch. If I had a dead north or any easterly wind, I would hunt the back edge of this concentrated area here. That's it. That's the one area I'd hunt, and this corner I would hunt. As you've seen, there's a lot of buck beds in there. But your entryway is very important with this. If you walk in and walk this transition, you're going to spook all these does or any kind of deer that's bedding along here. So they're going to get up and they're going to go this way or whatever, and could possibly spook a decent buck that's bedding in this corner. So I would walk this all the way down and way out, and then I would come up and I would hug this transition 100 yards, 125 yards out, whatever it is, and hunt this transition here, because this buck is most likely during daylight hours not going to walk straight out into a wide open oaks like these are. He's going to get up and walk this transition and stay really tight to the thick and walk right by you like that. So, guys, just keep in mind and try to think about your entryways, your winds, and where these animals are bedding at. And you will figure out, and you'll say, oh, I got to go in from this way because he's either going to smell me, he's either going to hear me, or he's probably going to see you. So you need to keep yourself out of sight. Sight is huge with these guys. So consider that when you're planning on hunting an area. So, guys, thanks for your support. I appreciate it. Love you guys, man. Keep watching. Share my content. Share to Facebook, Instagram, everywhere you can share it. Appreciate it, man. Always remember, subscribe and like to the Buckside. Peace.